Actress Kate Walsh appeared on Capitol Hill to mark the one-year anniversary of the BP Gulf oil spill with the nonprofit organization Oceana. CNSNews.com asked Walsh about a recent CNN poll showing that the majority of Americans support more domestic oil drilling given the rising cost of gasoline. What's your reaction to that? What's your position specifically on the issue?
I think that that's surprising to me, but not surprising in that I think that people are misinformed largely. I think that people are under the impression that if we drill offshore, that it will reduce our dependence on foreign oil. And because that's the messaging. Because the big oil companies have a lot of money. They have a lot of money to lobby and do advertising and tell a story which is actually untrue. And that story is that if we drill offshore, that eventually we will reduce our dependence on foreign oil. So if there's a tsunami that's happening, or if there's a conflict in Libya or anywhere in the Middle East that where our oil comes from, that somehow we will be protected and insured no matter what. Or that our people believe also, which is fallacious, that the gas prices will be reduced significantly if we expand our drilling. And the truth of the matter is that studies have been shown it will not. It would take until literally the year 2030 to see any decrease in gas prices at the pump, and that would be about 3 cents a gallon. Because our dependence, we use 60% of the world's oil. We can only produce about 2% of it. So that means that we are going to still have to import foreign oil. Also, the price of gasoline is set. It's a world market price. We don't set the price in the U.S. So even if we do drill offshore, it's set by the world market. So if we're paying $4 a gallon now, that's because that's the going price of the world. It doesn't matter if we're producing, because the amount that we produce would be so nominal, 2% of what we actually use. So you think we use 60%. So if we drill offshore, that means we'll make 2%. So that means that we're using 58% of the world oil. So it doesn't decrease our dependency at all, unless you're really high on 2% and seeing 3 cents below the gallon at the gas pump. But I think that people don't get that story out. That's the problem. That's partly why what Oceana is doing is really important. People need to be educated on it.
Do you think higher gas prices or lower gas prices are good for the country?
I don't think that's the question. I think the question, or the real issue, is that we have to absolutely move away from petroleum use. Obviously, look, petroleum is in everything that we use. It's in plastics, and it's not just in gasoline. It's not just heating our homes. But we need to start looking at other resources, and they are out there. I mean, it's just evolution. That's the great thing about being an American, is that we can come up with different ideas and different plans. But what bothers me is that what drilling offshore is about profit for oil companies. It's not about what's good for America. It's not about what's good for the most people. It's good for about 1% of people who make a lot of money off of drilling here in the United States offshore. It has nothing to do with what's good for the American people, what's good for the future, what's good for our economy. So, I mean, yes, ultimately we need to be moving it. It's already happening. And we're making electric cars. There are American companies making it. They're making hybrid cars as a transition. We just need to start transitioning. I'm sure the horse and buggy people were not really excited when the automobile came along, but this is part of evolution, and we need to do better. And we can, and the rest of the world is. And that's the fact, and we don't want to be left behind.
How do you respond to those who say, well, higher gas prices are an opportunity for pro-environmentalists to use to push alternative energy sources?
I mean, higher gas prices. People in Europe have been paying higher gas prices for decades, and it's also that it is because it is set, but it's a world market gas prices. It's not like, the liberals are raising or they're going to take advantage of this. I mean, it's expensive, but it's also beyond the price at the pump. Even if it was $2 a pump, it's not renewable. There will be an end to petroleum. And we need to start preparing for that and start looking for other ways. Other than the fact that it damages the environment, we need to look for other ways. And that's the thing about offshore drilling, is that there is no foolproof. There's nothing. Disasters will happen again. Accidents will happen again. And, this was a perfect example of what happened with BP. It's absurd to me that it was 87 days straight. And everyone I think was waiting, like with bated breath, like, have they fixed it yet? We just wanted to fix it. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, can get very sort of consumed with, can we just fix it? and then move on, because everybody's got to move on. Everybody's got their own stuff going on. People are trying to pay their rent and feed their kids and make sure they can pay their bills. So I understand the desire to move on from it and just say, yeah, let's drill, we'll do whatever we have to do. But it is our job to educate people and our lawmakers it's their job to protect us.
Nicholas Balassi, CNSNews.com, The Capitol.